actual like leg triangle, arm triangle, rear naked choke, loop choke. He's like, people tend to think in different ways, but what we want to do is mechanically create a triangle where we've got, so you've got arteries and veins that run through your neck. There's actually a little bit of debate about whether you're cutting off the arteries or the veins. We're like, so let's not even worry about that. But the idea is that the more pressure, and we'll talk about, again, PSI and pressure and arteries and stuff like that later, but like the more pressure I can generate to cut off everything, whether it's the veins or the arteries on either side of the neck, inside, these are called the sternocleidomastoid muscles. So this is going to be cut off most efficiently by a triangle shape that's complemented by backwards pressure in the back of the head, right? So like in the case of certain gi chokes, like, you know, if I were to do like a baseball choke, the back of the lapel is acting as a backstop while I create the triangle. In the case of a rear naked choke, my forearm and my head are acting as a backstop. So we have the front two parts of the triangle, which are cutting off the blood flow, and then we've got the backstop. So the more acute the angle of the triangle is, generally the more pressure. So we're going to start with the arm triangle because it's also going to utilize that internal rotation concept. So we can add this idea of turning our partner's shoulder into the neck to cut off this side while we use our biceps and, you know, maybe to a certain degree our shoulder to cut off the other side. And this will just be a really good way of introducing a couple of the other concepts that we'll be working with. So I want to create a triangle where most people tend to run into a little bit of trouble, and this is true of the leg triangle of any like basically like arm in type choke, is the emphasis that people make on pushing the elbow is not always the correct one or the best one, because I can push Troy's elbow quite far without his shoulder ever coming into his neck. So assuming that I'm trying to arm triangle him, if I'm really just worried about pushing this over, I'm never going to get any pressure on this side. So what I'm going to emphasize is lowering my torso so that my collarbone and chest push his shoulder into his neck. And the objective, and what we're going to try to do with our warm-up here, is get ourselves to the point where we can make our partner tap without A, connecting our hands, and B, flexing. I'm going to talk about, like, again, pressure, and like I'm going to use a like rubber hose analogy later on. But the idea is we want to be able to be as relaxed as possible when we get ourselves into the choke position and be able to just utilize the effect of gravity and the structure of our body to generate enough force to cut off the blood flow enough that our partner taps. So we'll start here. Our partner's just going to give us the arm triangle. The first side of the triangle is my biceps. So if my arm is out here, I'm missing the pressure. I want to make sure that I use like my fingertips, and if I want to, I can, you know, break his posture, push his head into it, and lower my collarbone and chest in behind here. So you can see immediately his shoulder is internally rotated. If I'm up here, I can press forward, but his shoulder can stay down. The more flexible you are, the more you can kind of do this, or the less flexible you are, the less it works. But here, and I'm not flexing at all. You'll have to trust me on that. And I'm leaning forward, I'm just allowing gravity to take its course. And then I'm holding. So the other, we're going to talk about isometric pressure rather than trying to like squeeze your balls off. The isometric pressure is what I'm looking for. So no flex in your bicep. Press the shoulder forward to internally rotate it. We're going to create that triangle. Our forearm is creating a backstop behind the neck. Our palm is flat down. And we're just projecting forward with our chest like so. Zero flex. And then wait till you get a tap. If you're not getting a tap, and be honest with your partner because it's going to help. If you're not getting a tap, come and find me, and I'll help you out with the angles. Any questions on that? All right, 1, 2,